Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Denny Reimer, and I would like to share a few random thoughts while not running with you today. First of all, let me explain why I'm not there with you. I've been involved with the Army Emergency Relief for some time, and we always have our annual meeting in November, and we chose the 14th of November early on this year. Since that's a great organization, it's an organization that has contributed almost $1 billion to the family members and soldiers and retirees since 9/11. I really felt that I needed to be at that annual meeting this year so that we can continue our efforts to improve our services to the soldiers and retirees who have served our country so long and so well. So please forgive me for not being there. I would love to be there with you and to shake hands with each of you individually, but I know that's not possible. Let me thank the Foundation for this great honor. It's a very prestigious honor. I know the previous Outstanding Alumni are a great distinguished group, and I'm honored to be a part of that and very humbled about this selection. I'm particularly glad to come in with this group because it includes a number of great Americans, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Lieutenant General retired Walt Omer was a boss of mine for some time. He's always been a mentor of mine. He has done a lot to improve leadership throughout the United States Army, particularly the strategic level, and I've learned a lot from him. Major General David Bockel is a United States Army Reserve officer who has had a distinguished career in the military and an equally distinguished career in the civilian world. I don't know how you do that, but he certainly has done it and done it very well, and I congratulate him also. And finally, Major General Wesley Craig, who has been a guardsman, grew up and came up in the Pennsylvania Guard, culminated his experience with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania as the Adjutant General. And he, too, has had a distinguished career in the military and continues to be involved in guard matters and serving our soldiers and serving our nation. I think the fact that all of us are grouped together sort of illustrates the tremendous progress that we've made in terms of the all-volunteer Army and also the total force. We all represent components of the different components of the total force, and I think that illustrates how well we've done. It hasn't been easy. It's been a rocky, rough road, but we're there now. We now know that we train together, we fight together, and we win together. One team, one fight. But this is not about me. It's about the United States Army War College. The Reimer family first came to Carlisle Barracks during the academic year of 1978-79. And I can remember my first impression was how nice these people were to us as we came on post. Whether it was transportation, whether it's admin check-in, whatever it was, people made you feel special. And I really have always used Carlisle Barracks as a gold standard for how people ought to be received at the installations and posts where we all serve. And if there are any of them that are still around at this time, I thank them for the great service they provided us, and I know it continues on. General DeWitt Smith, Major General DeWitt Smith, was our commandant. He'd been the commandant a couple years before, and so he's back on his second tour. He'd been promoted to 3 stars and gone back to Washington and then came back to the Army War College. There's a term for that, and in fact, it's one of our values. It's called selfless service. General DeWitt Smith set the tone for us during that academic year. I remember his first conversation with us. He told us it's time to pause, time to reflect on where you are and where you want to go. And he sort of laid out 4 priorities for us. He said, first of all, I want you to get reacquainted with your families. And that was important for us to do, particularly those of us who'd served in Vietnam. He also said, I want you to take care of yourself and figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life. And the third priority was that he said, I want you to take advantage of what we have to offer here at the Army War College. We think it's good, and we invite you to participate. But if you don't want to participate, that's fine also. And the fourth priority was to have fun. I went 4 for 4 that year, and it was a very important milestone in my life. But that was not my only association with the Army War College. I came back as chief in 1995 and served as chief from 95 to 99. During that time frame, I came here many times. The War College was nice enough to ask me to help with the opening ceremony, and I always gave the opening pitch, and I always used the same punchline. I told the class that was coming in, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that this is the best year of your professional life. I know you've heard that before, but I guarantee it this time. The bad news is you better enjoy it, because the Army's not going to give you any more years like this. And that was true also. I also did more than that with the Army War College, because it was such a resource that I wanted to leverage it. I would come back 3 or 4 times each year, and I would assemble a group of students in a small bedroom, and we'd talk about the changes that the Army was going through. We were transforming from a threat-based force to a capability-based force. And I wanted to talk to the students about their ideas and see what their thoughts were about what we should be doing. At the same time, I realized that this was a tremendous think tank that we had our hands on here at the Army War Colleges. Great ideas just seemed to grow up every day here. People had experienced leadership, they had studied leadership, they understood the organization, and now they were at a place where they could stop and think about that organization, and I wanted to harvest those ideas. I also knew that these were the people who were going to have to implement those changes, and so I wanted to make sure that they understood that what went into those changes. So it was a great benefit to me to come over here and talk with them and get their ideas and make sure that they understood where we were going. In 1999, when I retired, I thought back on what do I want to really do? And I remembered the time at the Army War College. I remembered all my time in the military, and I decided that I want to participate in something that is important to me, something I feel passionate about, and something that makes me happy to get up in the day and do that particular job. I decided to go initially to the Memorial Institute for Prevention of Terrorism, a third component of the National Memorial, the Murrah Mildy Memorial in Oklahoma City. I'm an Okie by birth, and this gave me an opportunity to work with an organization that was going to make a difference. And we did make a difference, because after 9/11, everybody was interested in our programs, in particular our after-action report. We came back from Oklahoma City for family reasons. We wanted to be closer to our family. We realized that if you want to see your kids and grandkids, you go to where they are, they don't necessarily come to where you are. And so this brought us back to Washington, D.C. There I got an opportunity again to work more closely with the Army Emergency Relief. And that, as I mentioned earlier, is a great organization. I've been the chairman and the president of that for the last 7 years. It also brought me back to the American Armed Forces Mutual Aid Association, what we call the Army Mutual Aid at that particular time. And again, work with an organization that was taking care of our soldiers and their families and providing them financial solutions to the problems they face. I was honored to have the opportunity to be asked to join the Mutual of America board. It's a great organization, an ethical organization. Board members consisted of people like Elie Wiesel and Francis Hesselbein, and those are basically legends in their own time. And I learned so much from that experience, and it gave me an opportunity to see the great leadership that is involved in the corporate America. Mutual America is also a company that supports very strongly what goes on here at the Army War College, both financially and from sending people here on the National Security Seminar. So that's sort of how I ended up where I ended up. And I would tell you that if you ask my wife, Mary Jo, she would tell you I'm flunking my third retirement. And she's right. But she'd also say that I married you for better or worse, but not for all day. And she's right about that. We've found that balance point, I think, and we've been doing this for about 55 years now, and I hope we'll do it for another 50 or so. So I think we're at a good place in life, and it all starts with the experience that I had in the Army, and then particularly at the Army War College. Let me sum it up for you. To me, leadership is an affair of the heart. It's a lifelong journey. It's not always a nice, easy, smooth road. There are bumps along the way. There are potholes that you have to get through. But at the end of the day, you feel good about helping others and working with good people to try to make a difference in this world. I've had that opportunity, and I'm very thankful. I'm thankful for the good Lord and to the Army War College for illuminating that path for me and that journey. Thank you so very much, and God bless you all.